No. Good morning. Hey, c'est fret ça. How is everybody doing? Rock here.
Yeah, sorry, we're a bit late. I'm
Nancy
making my
here.
smoothies. Nancy here, sorry.
It's her
totally off
fault.
Track. Totally off track here this morning. You know, you think you wake up at 4:30, you would be on time at 7:15, but no.
You need to work on your prioritizing skills.
I know. Actually, that's one thing I wrote in my planner today.
Is to work on your prioritizing skills?
Yeah, one thing that you want to work on today is like just how to prioritize my time more. Because I want to do so much and it's like there's not enough hours in the day.
That's the way it is, Nancy. You gotta ship up or ship out. I'm just saying.
How's everybody doing?
How is everybody doing?
Oh my goodness, I'm wearing my warm winter socks today.
I'm wearing ankle socks because ain't nobody got time for that. Anyways, how's everybody doing? How's the challenge doing? Cheers? Are we cheersing?
Cheers, of course.
I'll cheers with you. Ooh. Citrusy?
Yes.
This one's grassy a lot.
Yeah, I put kale instead of spinach. So you're going to have the more grassy, but it's really good, right? Here's the thing about leafy greens.
I don't like that one all that much.
Oh, you have to drink it.
Have to?
If anything, if it's not good, at least you know it's good for you. I like it.
Listen, I can say what I want. It's just not your best.
No, I know.
You know that. I know that.
I know.
They know that.
I was in a hurry.
It
I might have not put enough sweetness.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just one of those days where like nobody has to get mad.
No.
Nobody has to die.
No.
You're not gonna get fired. You
No.
still have the job here for this show. I'm
Right.
not gonna replace you.
No. Okay. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
Well,
stuff.
you were like this close.
Well, anyway, so here's the thing about leafy greens. It's great to switch it up. Don't always have the same type of leafy greens every single day, because you wanna like
diversify.
Yeah, but not only
variety.
That, you want like the different types of the vitamins and minerals from the different types of the leafy greens.
Fantastic. Anyway. I knew you were gonna say it.
Really?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say it.
Well, I heard, I don't know like where I've heard this before, but apparently if you always have kale every single day, eventually it doesn't benefit you anymore because you're always having the same type of mineral.
Hey man, variety is the spice of life, right?
It's sometimes dieting can be so confusing, which is why I don't believe in diets. I just believe, if you just crowd out with healthier options, you're just well on your way. Like seriously.
It's very similar to when you work out. You do physical activity. If you do the same things over and over and over, you will plateau eventually.
Yeah.
Just because your body's so used to doing what you're doing, you need to shake things up to confuse your muscles.
That's true.
So when I go to the gym, I don't necessarily have a specific group of muscles I want to work, but I don't necessarily have a specific exercise that I do constantly.
That's why the gym works for you.
I always mix it up and do different things.
Yeah.
And it's been working out really well.
No, it's true. It's true. It's good to have a routine in anything in life, but it's also very important to switch it up a little bit. Get some variety in you.
Yeah, be flexible within your routines.
That is actually one of the 6 human needs. Certainty, which is a routine and structure, but also uncertainty. Because otherwise, you'll get bored out of your mind. So it's important to switch it up.
Humans are creatures of habits.
It's true. On a cellular level, on a physical and mental level, you need to switch it up.
So yeah, switch it up.
Switch it up.
Let's talk about this Mable Jar.
The challenge.
The challenge.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the challenge. I think it's very important to address how laughing is super important.
Yeah.
In my high performance planner this morning.
Moose is here again.
Oh, I love it.
Come on, Moose. Come on. Sorry.
No, it's awesome. In my high performance planner, it says, I forget what was the question, but describe in one word, describe how you want to show up today. And I said, funny. And it says, why did you choose that word? Well, because there's fun and funny. It's fun being funny. It's like
fun is fun.
It's like
fun is funny and funny is fun.
You want to have some fun, right? You want to have some fun.
Just want to have fun.
Totally. and guys too.
I want to have fun.
And guys too.
I'm having fun, you know.
I find these shows are fun.
I'm having a great time.
It's a great
ball.
time.
You know, this is the pinnacle of my day here, the climax, if you will.
Well, in one of the questions,
okay,
in the planner, it says, "What is the one thing you can get excited about today?" And honestly, a lot of the times I write this show because it's fun, it's reflective, it's engaging, it's I don't know, it's serving. There's on so many levels.
It fills so many needs.
It fills my cup up.
Fills your cup up.
Up.
Fill up your cup.
Up.
Yeah, it's keep going.
Sorry.
No, I mean you were drinking. I was about to say something, but go ahead.
I was gonna kind of use that segue into the marble jar, like
okay.
filling up the cup with marbles.
Yes. Talk about the marble jar, and then I'm going to
chime in.
Yeah, I have my own ideas about the marble jar.
I was like, should we talk about this morning? Because I know you have...
One of the dumbest things, I think. But
no.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh my God.
Tell
okay.
people.
Yeah.
Tell people what you think.
Hold on first. I need to see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're welcome.
Just
I know.
Proceed.
Okay.
Come on.
So I think you're misled about the marble jar.
I will explain to you why.
No, wait. I believe that you are the sum of all the little things that add up over time.
Sure.
And it could be all the little bad things,
the little
negative things,
or
all the positive things.
Yeah. Or both.
But it's not just one big thing, and it's like measured in a marble jar, let's say. Like I'm using Brené Brown's analogy here.
Okay.
She has the jar and she has little marbles, and every time you do something great, it really fills up your marble jar, and it's like it shapes you into the good marble jar or the not so good marble jar, and it goes into either the type of person that you're showing up and how you show up for others. So it's like
the marble jar is a friend rating system.
Well, it's also a self-rating system.
Fair enough.
As well.
Self-rating and friend rating system. What do you mean, Rock? Let me tell you. Everyone you know in your life, that is part of your life, is represented psychologically, subconsciously, by a jar, a marble jar. You can replace the marble jar with just about anything. It's stock.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So the more you're close with somebody, the more the jar is going to be full.
Yeah.
Right? The marbles are going to be full. The more you're not as close, the marble jar is not as full. It doesn't mean it's good or bad. It just means typically when you hang out with somebody a lot, that jar is going to be full because you like that person a lot. And people you don't hang out with a lot,
why do you like that person
the marble jar is lower.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. Proceed.
That's the thing. I mean, whether you like it or not, everything, it's really hard to be loving loving somebody unconditionally.
That doesn't exist.
So that
doesn't exist.
That stems from the marble jar.
Only dogs can do that.
Yeah, it's true.
Love
to a certain degree. I mean, if you're kicking the dog and but the thing I feel like that it just represents the conditional love that we all have. Let's just face it. We all have a conditional way of loving others, and hence why the marble jar, if you're going to use that, gets measured in
something in your subconscious
in a way that you fill it up or you deplete it.
Right.
And it's
you do something nice
all the
for
little
somebody.
Things that you do. Yeah.
You do something nice for somebody, they're like, oh, and then subconsciously they're like, oh, friendship stock is higher.
Yeah.
Or the marble jar is getting filled a bit more.
Yeah.
That happens automatically.
In a relationship too.
Yeah, your jar is super filled.
Oh, thank you. What about mine?
What about yours? I don't know. I don't know how full full your jar is. Anyways, the problem that I have with the marble jar is it goes without saying. You don't say to your friend, you did a nice thing for me, I'm going to put more marbles in the jar. Or, that wasn't a good move, I'm going to take marbles out of the jar. You don't say that to somebody.
That's why you say it subconsciously. You don't
say it at all. It just goes without saying. Mm-hmm. It is obvious that when you are hanging out with somebody consistently, the jars are full. But it's also obvious that when you wean yourself off of that person, or you stop hanging out for whatever reason, you grow apart, you move, whatever, it's obvious that the jar gets less full. It doesn't mean you don't love them or like them. It just means you have less exposure. I just don't like yes and no.
Because
I know what you're
some
saying.
friends, and you can see, and you haven't seen in such a long time, and you're like, wow, it's like we've always remained this close.
I know that, but it's the quality of the marbles in the jar.
That's the thing.
Right?
That's the thing.
You could fill a jar full of crappy marbles, a toxic relationship. It doesn't mean that it's good for you. It just happens to be the person, like a toxic, abusive relationship. Mm-hmm. The jars are full.
No marbles in there.
The jars are full, but the marbles are all cracked. They're all shitty. Shitty marbles.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Right.
I'd rather have a friendship with 3 gold marbles in it than a jar full of shitty, cracked glass sand marbles.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, fair enough.
Here's my point to all of that. We had an experience that I didn't like with a friend who used the marble jar to guilt. I'm gonna keep it as generic as possible, as she may, or he or she may watch this. That person used the marble analogy to guilt one of us, I won't say who, into hanging out with them more. And I didn't like that. They used, since you canceled, I'm taking away some of these marbles. You shouldn't say that. It goes without saying. You don't have to say that. Mm-hmm. To me, that's what I'm saying. I like the concept of marble jars, but it just goes without saying. It just with things you don't even have to.
I think it's just because you've been rubbed the wrong way with the analogy. I think it's also the fact that that person just wanted to express that it's just, I want to have an open conversation with you about this, because I feel like the amount of times that you've canceled, and rightfully so, I just feel like in my subconscious,
go ahead. I disagree.
Subconsciously, I just feel like marbles are taken out, because it's like it's a trusting thing. It's like, okay, we have these plans and put in place, and they keep being canceled. So of course, they get to be removed.
Right. I mean, I would like to see the consensus of the group here. How many times have you told your friends or anybody who's canceled on you, specifically at an adult age, not when you're 4 years old or 8 years old, how many times have you told your friend who's canceled, we're just going to be less friends now. I'm taking some marbles out of the jar. Who would do that? A child would do that.
I think the context is important here.
Exactly. So the context of our situation, without giving too many details, was a very hectic time. It was very we were moving, and it was very difficult to be able to say, yes, at this exact time, I'm going to do this with you.
Right.
The other person wasn't seeing it that way. The other person was seeing it in her or his or her way, where you're not hanging out with me. Well, I'm going to take some marbles out of your jar. Who does that? I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right. Well, there's context on both sides.
Context, of course.
Because obviously, and that's the thing about marble jars and conditional love. I think if you want to, I think it's important to add the context in every circumstance, right? On both sides. I mean, I obviously had a lot going on, had just moved, trying to adjust.
The adjustment.
The intention was to really hang out with this person.
Of course.
I don't see
You're saying it's you? I was just like...
Well, obviously you're making, it's not, anyway.
Come on. It's funny.
And then the context on the other person was like, yeah, I totally want to hang out with you and do this. And then, of course, she had the understanding that, yeah, you did move, and she's getting it that a few times canceling is it's the way it's to be expected. Yeah. And then after a while, it was just kind of getting kind of old. So I just feel there is there is some lenience and forgiveness in both parties. So
I'll tell you what, if you guys watching who are my friends, okay, if you ever say to me that I don't, because we're not hanging out as much, if you ever say to me, we're less friends now because we hang out less, I'm going to remove some marbles, do me a favor, empty the jar. And just say, bye-bye. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's your personal opinion.
It goes without saying. we have friends that we don't hang out as much with, and we have friends that we were really close to that we don't hang out as much as we did before. We never told them, or they never told us, we're less friends now. It just goes without saying.
Okay.
It's an adult life.
All right.
So I'm just saying, I'm going to be honest.
So what's the takeaway here?
The takeaway is marble jars is still a beneficial thing, but you really want to fill your marble jars with good marbles, diamond marbles, gold marbles, so that when you meet up with that person again, whether it's been 5 years, 3 years, 6 months, 2 weeks, it's like it never ended. I have friends like that. My buddy Dan is one of those friends. The marbles in my jar with Dan, they're like huge cojones. They're made of gold and diamonds.
Okay.
So when I see that person, it's always a good time. Simple as that.
Right. And my takeaway for you all is basically you want to measure, how can I say this? You want to be able to measure the quality of your relationships with yourself and with others. And the way to do that is to really take into consideration the context around things. Just because I think we all love conditionally. It's very rare that we love unconditionally.
There's no such thing as unconditional love. Maybe mothers and children. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But even me sometimes like,
and
kids.
I feel like
I'm just being honest. Women are way more empathetic.
Can see that. And I can see I feel like if you fill up your own marble jar.
That's right. That's the thing.
With good quality marbles, then you're less likely to, like, how can I say this? Accept
the marbles of others.
Accept the marbles of others in a way that if ever, because there was, in my experience, in my own family, there was a jar that got completely empty really quickly because it was an accumulative of things that just kind of spilt over.
Well, yeah, but the marbles were shitty.
But I was able to, fortunately for me, with doing the work all these years, to have enough self-worth and self-respect to say, listen, my marbles are good quality shit, and your marbles are not spilling all over onto me because,
No, that's another good point to make, right? Yeah. So take stock in the friendships and relationships you have with people. Are they toxic? Here's a good indicator. I'll tell you a good indicator of whether or not you have good friends or not.
Okay, because we have to wrap it up.
Real quick. When you meet somebody, with your friend, when you hang out with a person and you leave that person, if you feel energized, that's a good friend. If you feel drained, not so good.
Yeah.
That's it. It's pretty simple.
Pretty simple. All right.
Wrap it up.
All right.
As always,
we love you.
We love you. We're thinking about you.
I hope our marble jars are pretty full considering.
It doesn't matter.
No, I mean, anyway.
Have a good life. Eat some fruits.
See you tomorrow morning at 7:15.
Be a good person.
Bye.
Don't be a douchebag.